Hello everyone and welcome to our I Pick My Butt video. Today we're playing more Archero and we're going to be going over all the lockets and discussing the best one in the game. So definitely stick around all the way to the end to find out which one that is. But the first one we're going to be starting off here is with the bulletproof locket. Now the description on this is labeled as locket crafted with bulletproof in mind to reduce projectile damage. And if you look at the stats below, it actually says projectile damage increase 10% when hit points is below 20%. And this is where things are actually wrong. This is a typo inside Archero. If you weren't aware of this already, I did see people online saying that this was something that was going to give you a higher damage output with your projectiles, your arrows, and so on, and that's inaccurate too. What it actually does is when your health is below 20%, you are going to take 10% less damage when hit with a projectile, like arrows, stones, or anything else that's getting shot at you. And this is going to be very similar to the iron locket. And the iron locket, that's labeled as a locket engraved with iron to reduce damage from collision with enemies. And you can see down below that that one's actually okay for the description for the stats. And that reads, when hit points is lower than 20%, damage dealt by bumping into enemies is reduced by 10%. So really, bulletproof and iron are both the same things. Bulletproof's just for projectiles, things flying at you, and iron is for things bumping into you. So that 10% is at common. Once you get it up to great, it's going to be 12%. Rare is going to be 15%. And then epic, probably 18, 20, and then 22 for perfect, epic, and legendary. We don't actually know yet, but that seems like how things would probably scale on it. Now, the only time I would actually recommend to use either of these lockets is if, number one, you don't have any other lockets and this is your first or second one. And number two, if you're really trying to get some extra hit points and it's the highest rarity, highest level that you have for it. Now, my opinion, and just about everybody else's out there, is that both of these lockets are poopy. So don't use them unless you like poopy. But all four of the lockets, when you get them to epic, are going to have the stat that it's a 30% chance that you will get double the healing power from the angel. And the angel, that's the thing you go in, you can either pick between a skill or the heal ability. Now, a lot of people are confused because it says 2 times plus 30, but right now it's at 0% without it. So figure just 30% chance of double the heal. And while we have the image up there, we might as well go over it. That's the agile locket. And this is a locket crafted with agility to dodge enemies easily. And this pretty much means this is going to add on to your dodge percentage. Now, if you watched my video a little while ago, we now know that dodge is not additive anymore. I'll post a video at the end of this. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. But a week ago, if you would have asked me what the best locket was, I would have said agile. My opinion has changed, and we'll go over that in a second. But as far as the way this works, it's just going to add extra dodge, but only when you're below 20% health. And that's going to stack from 8%, 10, 12, 15, 18, and 20, depending by the rarity of the item itself. Just keep in mind, if you're playing a chapter like Chapter 13, and enemies are hitting you for, I don't know, 3,680 damage, one of those hits might be hitting you above that 20% health, and it'll drop you dead, and any of these lockets will not take effect. And out of everything in the game, this is the second best locket, but let's show you the best one right now. And that's going to be the angel locket, and this reads, locket blessed by the angels to be invincible in time of despair. If you remember the teaser when they said we were getting lockets, that was the description they gave us. And I stand corrected, there's nothing on this one that actually says below 20%, but it does say there is a 20% chance to revive and be invincible for 1 second when dying. And it says it only available once, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, I don't know the exact numbers on it, but these numbers are going to scale up from 22, 25, 28, 30, and so on. And the actual timing that you'll be invincible afterwards will go from 1 second to 2 seconds to 3 seconds. The thing to keep in mind though, when you do get saved by this, you don't start off with fresh health on it. You get somewhere around like 980, and it kind of ranges a little bit too. But where this gets really tricky and makes this the best item to use, most people are calling it a bug, where they play the game, they die, it revives, they then die a second time, spend the 30 gems or watch the ads, and then there's a chance that if they die again, that angel locket can actually revive once more. So if you think about it, you could potentially have 4 lives in this thing, which sounds absolutely insane. Because of that, that's why I'm calling this the best locket. So if you have this, start leveling it up, slap it on. This is definitely one that you want to use. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please post down anything in the comments that can help anybody else on this. Don't forget, like, subscribe, check out the dodge video at the end there. That's good information that you need to know. And if you like Archero, want to watch some live stuff, make sure you're clicking that DLive link in the description below, because we're going to be showing Archero live every other day, probably around like 5, 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So don't miss out on that. But thanks for watching, everybody. And remember, I pick my butt.